As of today, 35% of children in India have a higher risk of fatty liver disease or are suffering from fatty liver disease, and the reason is cellular fragility syndrome. And why children are facing this issue is the exclusion of an essential, uh, nutrient which is required to maintain our cell stability, which is required to maintain the fluidity and structure of the cell membrane, and that is C15, that is odd chain saturated fatty acid, pentadeconic acid. That is an essential saturated fat which we should consume, right? When we do not have that, cells become fragile, including the red blood cells, right? And these red blood cells become weak, and the immune cells from the liver, these cells actually engulf these red blood cells, and what is left behind is iron, right? And over a period of time, when there's a lot of these red blood cells, because we are not consuming pentadeconic acid and we are consuming too much of poly-unsaturated fats and a lot of these bad fats, right? So this actually leads to a lot of a lot of these red bloods are engulfed by the immune cells of the liver, and again, these actually leads to overload of iron overload in the liver, and what we call is dysmetabolic iron overload syndrome, DIOS, right? And this leads to liver dysfunction, this leads to fat accumulation, this leads to obesity, high blood pressure, and number of things, right? And again, the story doesn't stop here. So essentially, these these fragile cells now are exposed to a lot of this, reactive oxidative species, and again, this leads to mitochondrial dysfunction and what we call as ferroptosis, which is the cell death because of iron overload. So ideally, C15 is a very essential, nutrient which we should consume, and you can easily consume from butter, ghee, from full fat dairy. These are the normal sources of C15. Again, we should maintain our C15 of 0.4% of the total fatty acid which we have in our cells. So fix this. Do not think that consumption of saturated fats is bad.